Hello. Hi. Let's see. Getting started here. All right, there we are. Hi there. Hi, I'm going to start because a lot of you catch this replay, but I also want to, I guess if you're catching the replay, let's just make it a general practice that you can like skip the first 3 minutes because I do like to give people just a couple minutes after I go live to jump in. So hey, I'm so happy to be here today with you. Let me know who you are. Say hi when you come in. I love having an audience to talk to. I don't like talking to myself. I do that all day. So if you guys are here with me, I love to interact with you. I will, let's see, get my stuff together. And I love starting right on time, but I also like to give technology its own space, I guess we should say, to people have gaps and such. Okay, so we had quite a few people say they were coming today. I hope they remember. If not, you can catch this and let me know that you saw it. I would love to know what you learned and what you take forward with you. So today is Tuesday, Tuesday training with me. Very exciting. I know it's the best part of your week, I'm sure. All right, I saw someone else pop in. If you don't mind, say hi to me. Let me know who's here. Like I said a minute ago, my great joke that I talk to myself all day. I don't like talking to myself. I love talking to you. So, okay. So today we are talking about 3 ways to increase your credibility as a nanny. So I was going to put nanny, NCS, doula, because what I really, really wanted to communicate is that it's 3 ways to increase your credibility to your clients, to your families that you work with, okay? Because I've had a lot of interactions where the expertise is not seen, maybe it's not known, right? It's not respected. It's not, it's just not a, what's the word? Very visible, maybe, to the people that you're working with. You know, I know I have a very broad audience, so this might not be the case. But even so, everyone can work to increase their credibility. Even me with you, right? We all can work to present ourselves in a way that's going to, hi Melissa, thank you so much. We all can present ourselves in a way, and I'm being completely honest and transparent. That's one thing, if you're new to me or not. I am not very good at being something that I'm not. I'm not very good at putting up a front that is not completely who I am. So it's the same, this credibility, because you know, when you guys you're in a difficult place sometimes, I feel. You've done, you know, your training. Some people have certain things other people don't have, you know, but when you're coming into someone's house, they already have, or to their life, to their world, to their babies, they already have a perception of what this is going to be like. They have expectations of, you know, and you're not going to know what those are right off the bat. So one thing I'm encouraging today, we'll talk about it, is how you communicate. So to bridge some of these gaps, because so let's back up for a second. 3 ways to increase your credibility. You're not just a babysitter, okay? And I know that NCSs have a different job title, right? But the perception could still be there that this is a babysitter who works at nights and watches my baby, right? So I can sleep. So I think everything can be minimized. Now, me, on the other hand, I know that every single moment with the baby is developing their neurons in their brain. Every moment is teaching them a pattern of how to be, how to move their mouth, how to sleep, how to, like, everything is learning. Everything is an experience. And so if I know how important that is, right? And so the people who are the families that are hiring you, they may not know that. They may not understand that. So, all right, let's jump right into it. And then I also said, I don't know if you read this part, that I'm going to give you some actual words, terminology to use for a family that maybe uses too much, they don't understand, even if you're nice, okay? And I'll say I'm going to give you some words on how to educate on this brain growth, this getting them out of the containers, this getting them on the floor, take away some of the fear that people have around those things. Because one, this is what's best for the baby, okay? Two, this will elevate you being able to speak these concepts. This will be one of the things to increase your credibility, is how you come across. So, the other thing I'd love to hear your comments on, I have a couple new small products that I'm putting out for parents and for nannies, and I'm using the terminology of childcare professional. And I don't see it out there very much, but I'm using it, and I'm hoping that gets used more. I've seen a little bit, but not a lot. And the reason I went childcare professional is because the people that I teach, the people I work with, and you want to elevate, because nanny sometimes has a certain perception around it. NCS is different, but I think unless people are hiring an NCS, they don't know what an NCS is. So that might have a little bit of confusion as well. I might have to take my sweater off, sorry. It's very hot here in Houston, Texas. I don't know where you guys are. In the beginning of March, it's very warm here. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's be fun about it. If you have comments, if you have thoughts, just pop them in there. Let's talk about it together, okay? So, one, I'm going to say quickly on this one, your presentation, right? Your presentation of who you are, the presentation of what you can bring, how you show up, how you carry yourself. These things are going to represent what is on the inside. It's going to represent what you can bring to the table. And so this new product that I'm working with families on is actually called Selecting Your Perfect Childcare Professional, a High Achiever Mom's Guide. So what my plan is to reach over here, right, and help them to decide what they need, right, what their goals are, what their vision is, what are they looking for, what are their expectations, because then, and I'm going to get into baby's development here in a little bit about if they have expectations of these things, what to ask, and then what to hear, right? How to decipher from what you in an interview are saying. So then you're meeting here, like a bridge. Do you see this cute bridge? We could call it a rainbow. So there's not this person over here upset or having expectations, and this person over here having expectations, and then they're not bridged, right? So we're not doing official interview training. It's just these are some really big concepts that I feel are missing in the people that I'm coming across, that I'm working with. So you have presentation, communication, and demonstration. The demonstration can be I feel education, because that's what you're going to pass to them. So it can be how you demonstrate your work with the baby, or it can be how you educate them on all of this baby stuff or childcare stuff. It doesn't have to be a baby. This carries over to anybody. This carries over to me. Like I said before, some of you maybe popped in, I always have to work on my credibility as well. I have to present myself in a certain way. I've got to say certain things. I've got, for you guys who are going to go listen. So the presentation we talked a little bit about. Communication is also we're going to work on at the very end after I go through these three areas, because communication is, I think, on different levels. One has to be actually how you formulate sentences. Do you make eye contact? Do you speak with confidence? Do you speak with arrogance, like I'm better than you because I've had, how do you come across? It might not even be your intention, but how do you come across? I think it's going to make a really big, it makes a huge difference. In the professional setting, like when you're interviewing at a large company or school district or a hospital, like, sorry, this has to go. Forgive me for changing on our meeting. That, there's certain questions they're going to ask, but the question they ask, they're looking for things the whole time. They're looking for, facial expressions. They're looking for what your word choice. They're looking for nonverbal and verbal. And so communication is broad. And it comes from the inside of you, right? It comes from inside of how do you view yourself? How do you view yourself as a fit for this job? Are you going out of your comfort zone at all? Or do you feel like I've done, we're not going to go through every scenario. If you do have a scenario, pop it in the comments and I'll use it. We'll talk about it. But it does start there. How are you viewing yourself? And then here's the other part. It goes a little deeper. How do you think they think about you? Because if you're thinking they think about you in a certain way, that's going to come forward, right? Then you're actually, so a lot of times act that certain way. And I mean, I've seen this, in different trainings I've done, and, I work one-on-one too. So, all right. If you have any questions about communication, we can talk again. The other part about it is what you're communicating. So we're going to talk about the infant neuron, say like their brain growth and their connection, how they're learning. So are you able to communicate that to a mom of why she should do something? So we're gonna go into the containers. I say containers or equipment, or some people just call them toys. But what I'm talking about is what people actually put their baby in. And so we're going to use that as an example for the communication piece. So how are you able to get those words out? So do you, first of all, feel confident, in yourself, in your skills, in your words? Do you feel confident to get them out? Are you going to be able to say, hi, so I was working with Jane, your baby Jane, yesterday, and I noticed such and such, okay? And how you can present that to them. Are you able to communicate? So that's another part of communication. The third part, and this is what we're leading into now, I was going to leave some room for questions, so we'll see if you have any, or comments. The third thing I wanted to talk about is your demonstration of, like, this is also how you increase credibility. A lot of people work from home, but it does start at the beginning, at the interview, at the correspondence, at your Facebook page, or however you're getting out there. All of these things start from the beginning, okay? This guide that I created, it shows parents how the interview starts when the person walks in the door, okay? So it starts from the beginning, what they look for, what do they need. They already have their vision. And all right, so talking about this third one, we're going to use demonstration and education as an example. So let's say that you're starting, and let's just go with the example of you work as a nanny during the day, and you notice that the child is not really comfortable on the floor, and that the mom has suggested that here's the baby swing, and here's let's skip the swing, let's go to exerciser. So they're a little bit older, like 4 months. So here's the exerciser, and you can use that, and then there's the bouncy chair, and then you feed them in this high chair, and then make sure they have a certain amount of nap time. And so if you're noticing something on the floor with the baby, so maybe they're not able to move in the way that they should. Maybe they're not using both of their hands to grasp their toys, right? So there's something that you would need to explain to the mom about when they're in these equipment. What is it doing? What is it actually setting up the baby for? Because they might not understand the connection. And then this child could end up with delayed motor skills, and they could have to seek other care And also they can have delayed cognition and emotional skills, and all of these things can actually come from the lack of interaction. So that's something that you want to be able to educate on, right? In a gentle way. Are you able to meet them where they are? So you have to teach and support and lead your expertise, what you know, but it has to be where they are, right? So talking like, above them is not going to be very helpful. So we're going to use this, and I was going to give you the exact, like these words that you can use. So let's say I'm picturing a baby who the parents have all the great equipment, and they go from, if the baby fusses, they put him in the exerciser. I've seen it many times, and usually these houses, I also have seen it where this baby is getting physical therapy, right? Because they're delayed and they have all these problems, but they pop them right into this exerciser, and they sit there and play with all the toys on the top. And so the challenge is that when you see this toy, the parent sees this toy, they think that all of the toys around the top are developmentally stimulating for the baby. Because there's sounds, right? There's different colors, and the product is marketed to stimulate their visual system and their fine motor skills, because you can touch all the things, and if you push this button it makes ABCs, and if you push this one it does this. And so it's viewed as developmentally, stimulating, like good for them, and it is not always the case. So I actually don't think that anyone needs an exerciser. If they have one, it can be very, very brief moments, 10 to 20 minutes max. I do believe that to be in something, it can be for safety. So if the nanny or the mom has to use the restroom or clean something, or, for safety, if they're not in the room, then these things can be useful. But otherwise, you want the baby to be experiencing life, which is somewhere else where they can freely move their body. And so this is what I wanted to talk with you a little bit about today, is that when this parent has them in a swing, for example, and an exerciser, but the swing, they're depriving them of opportunities, and this equals depriving them of experiences, right? Because the swing, if you picture it, it's rounded on the back, and what it does is it keeps their arms in this forward position, and the toys are right here, all right? So visually, they don't have to move. Everything's right there, okay? And then their arm and shoulder, their whole back, their whole everything is the only opportunity it has is in a limited range of motion. I said that you can use the words like they are limited to moving in the available way that this swing provides. It's limiting their availability of movement. So this is a way that you can explain to the parent. And then if their movement is limited, their experience of movement is limited. And so therefore they don't have the knowledge. It doesn't come in there. They don't get that knowledge. They literally will not get it that your arm and your shoulder and their back and their neck and their core can move in different ways. So they're actually getting the information that this position is where my body moves. So the brain and the body are communicating that this is where it moves, right? So they're getting that information. So that's what I want you guys to be able to educate and speak freely about to the families you work with, and therefore this is going to build you up and your credibility as well as your confidence in yourself and how you can speak, what you can share, how do you navigate this area. So the other thing I will say is when we're navigating this area, we wouldn't want to put it as, so I noticed that you're doing this wrong. I've noticed that you are, you have the baby in the swing too much. Or so it would come from a different place of, one you could say is, so I took this class and we learned all about how the baby's brain is stimulated and turned on and brain growth when they're able to move their body freely and by choice. And so when they choose to move something, and then the signal, right, actually goes, and then they get to move it, and then they get to see what happens, that's actually how they learn. So it's really cool when they have all the available movement. And so I noticed in their swing here that they don't have all available movement of their shoulder and their head, because they're in this little curve, right? And if you go down the spine, their spine is actually curved as well. So they don't have all the available movement that they could have. So the message and the communication to their brain is limited. They're not getting everything that they need. Same goes for the exerciser. When they are in there, they are in a supported position. Their core and their back and their hips, everything actually is off because it doesn't need to work. And so their legs can work, but a lot of times they're not even in the right position. Their hip is flexed, and so a lot of times they even push off their toes. So that's actually the incorrect pattern that we want to be communicated. So these are some word choices that you can use that you get into your repertoire, let's say, that you can put forth when you're in an interview or talking with a family about what's important for you as a nanny or as a child care professional, what's important for you because you like to make a difference in the families and the baby's futures. Because all of these things, this is not small stuff. It might sound like small stuff, we're talking in this informal manner, but it's not. I could be presenting this on a very large stage because it's literally creating and driving this baby and the family's future by what they're getting when they're in this infant stage. It's creating their future. So it's not small stuff. And I guess that's what I want to impart to you as well. This is how it can elevate your credibility. If you speak in this manner, then it's going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that, or I didn't see it in that way. Or even if they doubt you, they can go Google it, and then, research is out there. So I want to encourage you on that today, and thank you for you guys that joined me live. I love that, and I am happy to answer some questions or take some comments on this topic. I wanted to just share with you that I have this guide for parents called Selecting Your Perfect Child Care Professional, and it's also available for you. It's very inexpensive, and it's very, very, very pinpointed. It will help you have a bird's eye view to what this parent is being led to do. So they are being led to create their vision, create their needs, their goals, and then what questions to ask to get what they need out of the interview, out of their communication with you. So it is like a fly-on-the-wall view for you to look into what is a parent thinking, what is a mom thinking, where is she coming from, and it's like the high-achiever mom who wants exceptional care for her baby, all right? So I'm going to drop the link later in the group and take a look at it. And if you're interested, you have any questions, let me know. And I hope to see you all in the group. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Bye.